Well, it's taken me a couple of times of doing this, but I finally think I got it. I think I got it, you guys. And the key is doing it closer together, so more frequently, or at least a few dates closer together, so that I don't forget which button to hover, click, click, click. And look at that. I didn't have to wait and figure it out. So I'm a bit of an old lady with these things until I get the hang of it. It takes me a couple times. But I've done tons of other techie stuff. This has been, at my own pace. I was learning at my own pace. Come say hi, Harrison. He's over here playing with Ryder, our dog. What up? I love this hat on him. What does it say?
Oh my gosh.
Florida.
Really
flow grown. It's like authentic flow Florida boy hat. I don't know if they can see it, but I was like, oh, I don't want any hat. Krusty is falling on the food. we make jokes about like Krusty's. So my skin is still shedding a lot of, we'll just say, energies with my skin situations that I've had over the last few years. But I laugh because sometimes Harrison will say, he'll be like, Mom, your crusties are falling. You're like, don't get your crusties on. And I'm like, I can't help. He just makes me laugh, even through all the like awkwardness, or sometimes it's painful, sometimes it's annoying. Just this shedding of all these layers and the healing process. But I'd love to hear if you guys are going through a healing process. Hey, I see one person out there. I share these later, but feel free to say hi if you want to say hi or post comments. It worked the other time, so I'm pretty sure it'll come through. But yeah, I was like a fast 5 at 5. I'm such a dork for like alliterations and like puns and like rhymes. I can't help it. It's just how I am. But yeah, I started making some notes. It's like get to know you questions. But I'm sitting here doing it with myself and hopefully with you guys if you want to answer or comment at any point. But yeah, we're just getting the summer kicked off just on a good note, and might be switching Harrison's school here. So it's just kind of like not stressful, but that kind of feeling of like, I don't know, just switching schools is always weird, right? And switching different schedules and what other kind of changes. I'm going through plenty of personal changes. I'm sure you guys are too. But, I want everything to be smooth and like stress-free for Harrison, for my son. So that's a big deal to me. And, I'm sitting here. I was going to share with what I'm eating and drinking before I do my questions. I have such ADHD, you guys. People say ADD, but mine's ADHD. A lot more doable now going through the healing process and accepting myself and loving myself. So I would encourage you to do the same, regardless of mental health challenges or not. But yeah, I was going to share. I'm having a drink again, you guys. I'm like so excited I can have a drink again. You just don't understand. There was a couple of years here where I literally could not, like alcohol was not agreeing with me, and that was fine. But this one is a Whitehaven Marlborough from New Zealand, Sauvignon Blanc, right? And we had some smoked salmon that we got. So I was like, let's do a Sauvignon Blanc because that's supposed to be good with seafood. And I love these little non-bread things. If you guys are familiar with Indian food, non-bread, homemade is the best. But at the grocery store, we've been going to Costco the last few times, but at the grocery stores, you can find like the pre-made non-breads, and they're like, round, like this big. And that's usually what I buy. They're great in the toaster, microwave, oven, broiled, not heated up, whatever. You can put cheese, hummus, toppings. But they have these little ones at the store, and look how cute. There's like, they're just basically like little pita breads, but not pita exactly. But put like the Laughing Cow cheese. So it's kind of like cream cheesy on here, and then some smoked salmon, and then and some seasoning. Oh, I forgot to I sauteed some onions and tomatoes I could put on some of these, but I'm telling you guys, you could put any toppings on these, which are great. I love little bites, like tapas style, because sometimes you don't want to sit down and eat a whole meal, right? And especially when I'm doing stuff, whether it's this or hanging out with my son or if I'm trying to walk or just be active at all, just anything, talking, walking, activity. It's like I don't want to eat too much, but if I don't have anything to do, or it's like you're focused on, a whole meal, going out to eat or eating with the family and like sitting there and just talking, that's another thing. Like I'll totally eat more and eat a full dinner. But oh my God, I really like this wine, you guys. It's so like sweet and light that I just love it. It's not dry. Okay. Now that I'm getting now that I have another phone, it's like, okay, I gotta put it on silent, right? How do you just flip it? Silent mode on. This is what happens when you live stream, you guys. It's unedited. It's live. Hope you enjoy it. It's delicioso. So try it. It's so good. Put any toppings on it. Sometimes I will make it more Indian, I'll be like curry and this and that. And oh, I told you guys already about the great Indian restaurant to try over here, but I'm not going to talk about that over and over. Oh, that's right. The notes. See, I'm getting a lot better with my ADHD. I'll come back to what I was doing as long as I'm allowed to like ramble and be live and not edit myself. Filter. This is non-filtered, you guys. I don't even have a fun I almost did like a fun background or something like to distract from what we got going on, but I'm like, no, let's give it to them real raw and real up in here. Again, with the raw salmon, but it's smoked, but you know what I mean. Everything's raw and real up in here. Okay. It says, these are questions I wrote to interview other people or just to keep in mind or to do with you guys, myself, and Irene. Did you guys ever see that movie, Jim Carrey? I need to go back and watch the whole thing because I've only seen parts of it. Don't you hate that when you watch parts of shows or movies and then you're like, I got to get the whole story, the whole deal, go back to it. And I have a lot of shows and movies to finish that I didn't finish. So I digress. It says, what achievement are you proudest of and why? This is like such a cliche question, Q&A, but I can't help it. Having my son. I know that's like, an achievement. It's much more than an achievement. It's like changed my whole life, made my whole life better. But I would say it still counts as an achievement. So definitely having Harrison. You're the answer to my first question, but it's like, what achievements are you proudest of and why? It says achievement, but it's really like a life experience. I'm like having you. Like, I mean, what else do I have to be so proud and happy about? Like, you're sweet. Like, seriously, I know I'm like a cliche and like a lot of mothers out there are like, having my children, my child, but I'm serious. Gotta keep it real. When I've had a lot of things go awry, things go wrong, like experienced illness, abuse in my life, whatever, accidents, bad situations, blah, 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 all these trauma, but also a lot of great times too. Laughing, crying, hugging, tugging, pushing, pulling. Just all of the ebbs and flows of life. And yeah, like, I'm going to keep it real. So here's another one. It says, what are things that normally keep you busy, but they're not actually important? I thought of that question. Is that interesting? Things that keep us busy that are not important. I would say like most of the work that everyone does, including schoolwork, regular work to make money, like our to-do lists. Like I literally feel like that's what we all spend most of our time on, and it's like the least important thing, in my opinion. But I know everyone's making a living and blah, blah, blah. But Harrison knows what I think about that. The false matrix popping up out of that, the illusion of society. Don't get me started. A lot of people are like, whoop, but
Where? No.
Once you see it, you can't unsee it. And I have spiritually and physically, emotionally, mentally seen a lot of things. So you can't really change my mind about that. But otherwise, just stuff like too much housework or like yard work is like the dumbest thing. It's even dumber than housework to me. Like, if I'm going to get real with you guys, people with houses and these big yards or even a small yard, it's like, why are you going to spend all this time out of your life doing stuff like that, unless you're really enjoying gardening as something you enjoy, right? Or you're enjoying growing your herbs and your flowers and it's like bringing you pleasure, is something, then that's great. But if you're like slaving away in the yard, you don't have enough money to pay somebody to cut your grass or your plant, whatever you got, your bushes, your grass, your all sorts of things outside. That's one of my exits. Then if you hate doing it, you're torturing yourself. It's just like such a waste. Like, why do it? I always enjoyed condo apartment living. Harrison knows that. Like, you don't have a yard. It's like, you're more minimalistic and you got to keep things more contained. You don't have as much stuff everywhere. I just enjoy that because it's easier to keep it clean and you can enjoy like your actual lifestyle more. That's just my opinion, my experience. I loved last apartment we were in. Had some rough experiences there, but also a lot of good ones. But that place was really cool until the rent went up like astronomically. They're trying to push everybody out of their place. Like, why would the rent literally went up over $500 within the next month? And they were like, moving forward, it's going to be this much. And I'm like, what are you guys smoking? Like, seriously. Nothing I've tried. That's insanity. So that's my opinion on that. So we got 2, 3. If you were to do something free for the rest of your life, what would it be, Harrison? So not working, like not getting paid, but if you were to do something free for the rest of your life, what would it be? Mine is this. I would do this for the rest of my life. Podcasting.
For a job?
Shows. Yeah, free. Like no one's going to pay you. What would you do for free? And I'm like this. Like
nothing.
No, if you have to pick something, you mean living. Just living.
Yeah, just living.
That's what we're doing here. We're just living. And I do this anyway. I talk to myself. I talk to you. So now I'm just doing it.
The only reason people do jobs is to be paid for it. That's the only reason.
Unless you're like volunteering or like for school scholarships.
I mean, to be honest, I would do it for the homeless.
Yeah. And like helping people.
Yeah.
It's like, I've done that.
I would do that.
But it's also like forced. I was about to say sometimes, community service. If you have like a criminal record, they like force you to do community service if that's like, what you're convicted of. To me, I can't even say it. But what's another? Oh, the scholarship for college that I got. It was like Florida Bright Futures, whatever. Yeah. And you make good grades. You have to make certain amount of grades, and then they're like, "Oh, you have to do this many community service hours to actually get the scholarship now." So then, it's like a high schooler. Then you have to go out and like find stuff to volunteer and get involved with. They like make you do it to get the money for the scholarship.
That's ridiculous.
Well, there's athletic scholarships, there's academic, so that counts as academic. But then when they make you do community service, it's like, wait a second, this is more than academic at this point. This is something else involved here. So I don't think I've ever said that out loud, but I just realized that, my guy. That is wild. I just did it, back in my whole life. I'm like, what do I need to do this? I'm going to go for it. Yeah, you're going to go upstairs. No problem.
It's
okay.
I'm not going to do writer and stuff.
You're cool. You're fine. That was 3. 4. I already said what's on the menu. Oh my God, I answered one of my questions already because I told you I was eating and drinking. So 5. Here we are at the last one. I'm not staying on here long, guys. I'm just going to make this more, what do you call it? Quick and dirty. Just how we like it. Sorry, not sorry. Who did that song? Is it Demi Lovato? Sorry, not sorry? I think so. I was listening to some Selena Gomez yesterday. And I don't know why they remind me of each other. It's the dark hair. Like, that's ridiculous. But, oh my gosh, have you guys seen Selena Gomez, her shows? Like, she does like a cooking show, and then they did a documentary about like how she's got bipolar, whatever. And it's just along her mental health journey. And I so relate to that and relate to her cooking show. It's so great. She's the cutest and she's beautiful, but like, she's so sweet. You can just tell. You can tell someone's essence by like watching them like this, like you can tell when somebody's really editing or not, or just being themselves. Even if you're performing on stage and you're singing, you're acting, whatever, you can still read in between the lines sometimes. Even if they're playing like a villain or like a bad character, you're like, okay, Sometimes you can. Sometimes they're too good and you're like, I don't know about this one. So that's always fun too. Still a good actor or whatever they're doing, performer. I digress. Okay, we're on our last one. I don't know if I want to answer this one. That one might take longer. That might be a whole show. Let me see. What are your new dreams and aspirations compared to past ones? And why do you think that it blah, blah, blah? I think past dreams I've had were like being an actress. That was something ever since I was 5. And I'm like, I checked that off my list. Like, even though in my view, I'm not like this huge actress or anything, but it's like I've done it in real life. You know, I know what it is to like audition, get paid, do this, you know, go to acting training class. That was something that was a real dream when I was little. And then I didn't realize when I get older, like there are actual steps you can do. And you don't just have to watch other people doing it. Like if you want to do something, go out, learn about it, look it up online, take a class, try something new, you know, just somehow, right? Like that's what people say, just to enjoy your life anyways, or learning, healing, and growing along our life journey. And I've been doing personal development, you guys, for a long time. I would say since a teenager, but really early adulthood. Once you get past like high school, and then just I kept myself too busy in college, like way too busy. Like I picked my major and my goals and stuff and started working more and more and more. And just, it was too much. Like I didn't have time to catch my breath and to really start reevaluating my life until after I got married, you guys. So that was like after 22. I was 22 when I got married. I was just like wham bam, thank you, ma'am. Just too much going on. And then I got pregnant when I was 24, had Harrison when I was 25. So it was just a lot. Boom, 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 boom. So I really didn't start to really reevaluate until I would say I was pregnant with Harrison. That's when I was really like, I need to change my life and make sure I'm not stressed all the time and make sure some things start changing. And I started making those efforts and changing stuff right away. But it's such a rough process. It's like start and stop, push and pull. You know, you get better. What does it say? What do they say? 1 step forward, 3 steps back. Yeah, a lot of that going on. But when you're keeping it real, that's a lot of it. And you don't realize how many people, places, things, experiences, your own self, your own mind, you guys, your own energy holds ourselves back. We hold ourselves back because we believe what others have said or are saying about us. We believe what, you know, the media, what you see on the news. You believe your past history. Oh, I made this mistake, so I'm this type of person, right? It's just ridiculous. You can change whatever you want any day. Every day's a second chance. And we literally have that on a little poster thing that I put in my son's room. Isn't that adorable? Well, on that note, cheers. I hope you guys have a great evening. Monday fun day. And I'm going to eat the rest of my cute little salmon non-bread things. But I'm going to try to do this like almost every day and get better. I'm just going to get more in the hang of it, you know? Because it's helping me with the other shows I'm doing. And whenever you guys want to comment, you get to know me better. Whatever is going on with you guys. Hey, Michael, what's up? I was like, who is this person? It's you. You are not alone. I am here with you. Do you know that Michael Jackson song? It's like, I sing it a lot. It's my favorite. That one's for you, MJ. You know, gotta kick it back old school. I figured you're still at work. You're like, oh, isn't that awful that I would do this so early? I know people are working. And I actually do some work too, in between me looking like I'm goofing off all the time. So, you are not alone. Besos y abrazos. I'm glad you saw it pop up. Well, I'm glad I saw you pop up. Thanks for saying hi. And peace out. I'll have to talk to you next time. Yeah, I'm going to try to do this every day. Maybe I should change the time since people are working. But cheers. Have a wonderful one. Bye.